As you exit the endless glade of the Cadigan, you pass into a clearing, and you're all taken aback by the sight of the great tree. You have entered the grove of the great tree. Sitting in the center of this clearing, it must be at least 300 feet tall, with canopy spreading far out from its trunk. It appears to be some sort of evergreen, but it's so unique in that it appears to share properties of all evergreens. It is all at once a spruce, a cedar, a hemlock, a fir, and a pine, while at the same time, it is all its own thing. The grove around you is teeming with life. You occasionally see birds flying the perimeter of the grove from tree to tree. A deer grazes in the shade just off to your right. Bees pollinate flowers as they collect nectar, moving from flower to flower within the grove. And amongst all of this life, it's still immensely calm. You can smell the smell of cold water in the air, the sound of the wind passing through branches and leaves. The great tree itself moves as if in an intricate dance with the sun and the wind. Its shadow, nearly even this immense tree, its shadow casts nearly to the edge of the grove itself. As you all enter into the grove, you enter via it looks almost like a doorway of branches and vines and things. And this is about 1/5 of the size as it is. The tree is 300 feet tall. It's about 300 feet from the center of the tree to the edge of the clearing. As it stands, the way you guys are looking at it, it looks about 60 feet. But this is the great tree.
I want to scale the tree.
You want to scale the tree just immediately. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
I was going to ask if either Ilikhal and or Pilot would want to rest after the encounter.
Yeah, I'll throw down camp while you're climbing the tree.
okay. It's about 300 feet to the tree, so you're gonna take an amount of movement. As you are moving towards the tree, make an investigation check.
That's a 13.
Okay. You are able to. There are so many branches, big, like massive, like the size of like human trunks, branches coming off of this huge tree trunk. And you are capable of getting like a few of the first handholds without even needing to make a check. It's almost like climbing into a ladder, but there are so many branches and things. How high do you want to climb?
As high as I could get.
Okay. All right.
Jesus.
Make an acrobatics check or an athletics check, whichever you prefer. In this case, I feel that it is adequate to have either dexterity based or strength based climbing.
Would be a 19 for acrobatics.
Okay. You get about 30 feet up, and the branches start to get a little less dense. You're starting to get where you're actually having to like kind of like actively pick where you're going between. Make another investigation check with advantage.
Dirty 20.
Okay, you get about 30 feet up, and that's high. That's 3 stories. That's a tenth of the way up this tree, and you realize getting off of the ground a little bit, you can see all around the grove very well. It's almost a perfectly circular grove. You can see to the northwest, you can see this little pool with what appears to be a running stream. You can see a bunch of the animals. What you think is a little odd is that there aren't any animals like actively in this tree. Like you're not scaring off any birds too much. And you look, as you're looking up into the tree, the sunlight comes down and there's a twinkle off of something about 20 feet above you. Make another acrobatics if you wish to go see whatever it is.
Yes.
Yeah, make another acrobatics check.
That is a 24.
That's a lot. Okay, so
Nice.
You begin scaling, and it is literally acrobatic in a way. It's like trapeze in a few places as you jump and you hang from a branch and you swing and jump to another. You climb the next 20 feet fairly easily, and you find this. It's a big bird's nest, or it appears to be a big bird's nest. It doesn't look like a bird has been here recently, but it's probably about the size of like a platter, not like a. It's bigger than a dinner plate, but not bigger than like a table. I don't know. It would be like a serving tray sized. And sitting in the center ish, off to one side slightly, of this nest is a large egg. And it's not a biological egg. It's actually, it looks to be more like a Fabergé egg. It's gilded. It's white and blue and gilded on the outside, and it appears to have some writing on it and a small clasp and a lock. I could not hear you.
What language is the writing in?
What language do you speak?
I speak Common, Primordial, and Thieves' Cant.
It is none of those.
Am I able to try to flick up the clasp?
It's a clasp and a tiny little lock. So you can, like, as you mess with it a little bit,
Mhm.
you notice like it's like the tiniest, like it's like a little bitty lock. It's really it's a cute little lock. Don't hurt it. But you
Do
cannot
not
just
break
like
that
flip it
lock.
open.
Can I try to use Thieves' Tool when I'm up in the tree?
I'm gonna say you can. You're 50 feet above the ground with a very frail thing from in holding it. It feels it's not. It might be porcelain. It's going to be very difficult. It's going to be harder to do it in the tree than on the ground, for sure.
What
Okay.
time is it right now?
It is currently. Hold on, let me get in my headspace. We're in
I
the
think we got-
northern hemisphere.
I
Yeah.
think we got there at like 3 in the afternoon, didn't we? When
It
we
is
entered
later in the
Lost
day.
Woods.
This is actually accurately like the shadow of the tree is in the correct direction as well. Like all of that, all of it is correct currently. So the sun is not high in the sky. It has come down some.
If you wait like a cool 6 hours, I can equip Featherfall for the following day and just drop you gently so you don't break the egg.
You could put the egg like in your bag and you wouldn't have to worry about it. It's legitimately. I mean, it's probably like the size of like a large goose egg. Like it's bigger than a
Okay.
fist, but not as big as like 2 fists. Yeah, like that's probably too big, but like slightly bigger than a fist.
I'll just put it in my pocket and slowly slip back down into. I want to sit on a branch though. I don't want to get back completely on the ground. I just want to sit on a branch.
Okay. I will say you can make it most of the way back down since you were able to climb up. You're
Mhm.
able to climb back down safely. And you are how high off the ground do you want to be? Just like kind of in the lower canopy, like where you could hop down and like land without having to like maneuver?
Yes,
Or
please.
okay. We'll say you're just hanging out in the branches of the tree at the lowest level.
Mhm. I don't show them the egg yet.
Okay. What about
What's in the pool?
do you want to go check?
Yeah.
Okay. Alfonz, you walk over towards the pool.
So that's like 120 feet away, right?
That is it's 300 feet to the tree, and
Oh.
then another 150. It's a big
I went for a
clearing.
hike.
Yeah, it's a like, but it's very flat. There is like some long grass. Most of the grass is probably just around ankle height. It's not like a field. It's the grass stays relatively low. There are a few patches of higher grass, and it's relatively flat, especially around the tree. It looks like It's not like nothing underneath the actual canopy of the tree. Nothing is growing other than maybe some like mushrooms or other non photosynthesizing plants. But even the canopy of the tree comes out pretty far. Probably it's got to be at least like 60 feet across is like the canopy and shade of the tree. It's hard to communicate just how immense this tree is. It is skyscraper almost, like redwood skyscraper level, but evergreen. You walk across the clearing. It's really nice. Like it's turned into like a nice evening afternoon. Like you feel like a little bit of a breeze as you walk by. You see some more animal movement. As you approach, the sound of rushing water picks up a little bit, and it's a small stream with a small pool where it is just kind of. It appears that it hit a spot where it was a little lower and filled some area, and then it runs off afterwards. It doesn't appear to be deep. Like you can see the bottom. It might be 2 feet deep, maybe 3. Alfonz, as you approach, there are a couple like tiny fish, like not much larger than minnows. You can see a few. They're very iridescent, opalescent. They're shiny. They're shiny fish. Just a couple kind of swimming in this little pool. It looks, based on your amount of survival skills, you would think it was safe to drink. It's running water. It appears to be cold. Like you feel noticeably colder being close to the water. So you've got a feeling maybe it's spring fed or something. Those are things you would notice without actively like investigating.
I want to ask Pilot about their mark, if they can feel it, like their brand thing.
Yeah, you can walk up to the bottom of the tree, and Pilot's just kind of hanging out in the lower branches.
Yeah, how
Your
does sorry.
your mark, do you feel it? Are we in the right place?
I bring out my arms to
As you
swing
go in,
around.
you swing around in just generally like metal detecting fashion. It doesn't feel. It feels like you're actively wearing like a bracelet that's way too tight. It doesn't get tighter. It doesn't get looser. It's just tight enough to where if like you're actively doing something else, you don't think about it. But like the second like you realize it's there, it's kind of hard to forget about it. So it's pretty. You're pretty hot. Is what you're thinking.
Do you believe this is the right place?
Okay.
We just need to figure. We need to figure out how to go through. It doesn't seem like there's any circles we could walk into, any mushroom circles that we could jump into.
Are you just saying that, or did you do like an investigation check while you were up in the tree?
I'm just saying that as
Pilot did
a
not. Pilot
general.
definitely got distracted by the shiny and came down.
Yeah.
What is the purple thing and the orange thing?
They're just it's just a little bit of flare. It's a little bit of groupings of wildflowers.
Okay.
Just to break up the white a little bit. Zhixil, anything you would like to do?
I think I know you said that, but maybe I'd, because that's the only other thing around here. Maybe I'll go take a look.
This one.
Maybe. Oh, let's do the
purple or
purple one.
orange?
It's
Okay.
purple. It's closer.
You notice. You walk up to it. It is without rifling through as you start to approach. It's a very large patch of lavender. Like the flower, and it smells nice.
Okay.
It does appear to be just lavender though.
Okay.
On simple inspection. It is fairly large patch of lavender, to be fair. But a couple little bumblebees jotting around, a couple honeybees as well.
Can I roll an investigation on the pool of water?
Absolutely, please do.
The 13.
Okay. Do you wish to? Are you going to investigate just by simply looking, or do you want to investigate by touch and everything? Like, I'm wondering how
Yeah,
like cautious you were approaching this.
I think like if I like dipped my staff, I guess, kind of in it and just like stirred to see if there's like any reaction from the little fish,
Okay.
something,
Yeah.
or if anything comes out of it.
Nope. I just want to make sure I'm not gonna overly
Yeah,
commit
yeah.
you to something. As you dip your staff down, you kind of like swirl it around. You do feel a fair little bit of a current through the pool. And in looking at the fish, you can tell they're actively having to try to stay in one place. As you like kind of push your staff around, they dart away. They behave as normal fish would. Where you stick your staff into appears it's about from where you can reach. Maybe it's a foot and a half, like at the very very close, and then it becomes like very shallow.
And it hit the bottom.
Yeah, you definitely hit solid rocks. They appear to be like pebbles. You pull your staff out. If you touch the bottom of your staff, it is cold, so it does appear to be cold water. Not freezing cold, but fairly cold water.
All right, I'm gonna try something. Would I have like a cup or something in my? You know what? I'll empty my canteen and fill it up with that water.
Yep.
I want to water the flowers.
Okay, the orange ones.
Yeah, sure.
All
why
right.
not?
Do you fill your canteen? And you walk over to the orange flowers. Do you just full dump out?
No, not full.
Little
Like
bit?
I'm expecting to save some for the other batch, I guess.
Okay.
Sprinkle it on there.
Make a investigation check.
Sure. 19.
Oh, that's pretty good. As you poured over the flowers, a few of them were looking a little parched, I guess, and they kind of open up a little bit more, and even like the flower buds open up a little bit more, and they point towards the sun a little bit better.
Can I see Alfonz doing this when I walk over to the little pond?
Yes. Okay.
Could I dunk my head in?
You can. Do you take the cloak off, or you dunk? Cloak
Yeah,
and
I take
everything?
my cloak off
Yes.
and I just dunk my head in.
Dunk your head in. It's cold. It
I-
is. If you had a dive reflex like humans do, whoo, it would be going.
And then
Yeah.
I just quickly wash off any like soot that the fireball got on me.
Yeah, a little bit of muddy blackishness wipes off really quick, and it's taken immediately downstream. The stream appears to be flowing from the top of the clearing out the west side.
Okay. And then I take my head out.
Okay. If you had hair, it would be majestically flipped back. Oh, Zhixil fell over. Sorry, bud. Zhixil, make a perception check. Ilikhal, you too.
11.
Okay.
It almost was 19.
12.
That's fine. They weren't doing anything, so
Okay.
you were the two not actively doing something. Therefore, you got to make the perception check. It's fine. Nothing out of the ordinary. I have no way to convince you guys that I'm not trying to kill you.
Can I
I just want you to know that you've not perceived anything.
can I walk around like the trunk of the tree, see if I notice anything?
Get under the canopy and walk around the trunk of the tree.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, make a investigation check.
16.
Okay. Do you do like a full circle of the
Yeah.
trunk? As I'm asking for all the details, do you want to walk counterclockwise around the trunk, or do you want to walk clockwise around the trunk?
Counter.
Counterclockwise. Okay. You do notice. You said 16?
Yeah.
You do notice there are a couple of those like forest white mushrooms. They look like mushrooms. They're mushroom shaped. They're not like chanterelles where they're like shaped. The sound that describes shape. Yeah, good job,
Mhm.
Noah. They look like Mario mushrooms in a way. They're mushroom shaped. They're just the little white ones though. Probably you say little. I mean they're probably like 3 inches tall with like the largest one probably is a 4-inch diameter, there are a couple of smaller ones around it. I always think of it like I would see them in the forest, and you should immediately want to step on them because they look like they squish good. Like
I'm gonna
that's me.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
pick 4
Okay.
and just hold on to them. Keep going.
Okay. You walk all the way around the tree. It is a very thick trunked tree. Very hard bark from what you can just tell looking at. If you walk up and touch it, it is very rough. There are evergreen needles all over the ground in here. It's actually like it's fairly like cushy because of the amount of detritus is the word that I want that is on the ground.
Don't
So
see
you
anything
make
else of
a
interest.
you make a full nothing out of the ordinary. I mean, it aside from being under the canopy of a very, very, very large tree, it is not that different than a normal sized evergreen. No, excuse me. I'm sorry.
What's that hole in the tree?
That's where the paper didn't wrap all the way around.
Damn it. I guess let's go water the other plants. I think this is gonna go poorly. It'll be fine though.
How far away is everyone else from me right now? Can I do a Harry Potter thing and see if anything happens when I dunk the Fabergé egg into the water?
Yes. Go for it. Make an investigation check make an investigation check as you do it.
14.
Wait, what if the words come off?
Do you dunk your head under as well? Is that
Sure.
the plan?
Yeah, I just giggle.
You look at it. No, nothing.
Oh.
It gets colder because it's cold water, but nothing. No, the decorations don't come off. The gilding doesn't come
put
off.
it back
Nothing unusual.
into my bag.
Back in your bag. Right. Alfonz, you walk all the way over here. Alfonz, you walk all the way across. You go to water the lavender. Investigation check.
15.
Similar effect. There are a few little wilted bits that appear to have appreciated your gardening skills. And the flowers open up a little bit wider and accept the sunlight a little bit more. One would say the flowers are happy now, but that one person might be way into plants too much.
Water the tree. No. Water the tree. Splash some water on the tree trunk.
Could I go take a look at the water?
You can. You are this. I'm asking for all the detail. You're on this side of the tree. Are you going to go left around the tree or right around the tree? Or are you going to go directly under the tree?
Let's go right around the tree.
Go right around the tree. So this way.
Yes. Correct.
While this is happening, can I sit down and stare at the tree?
Yes. Make an investigation check. On the tree.
16.
I'll get to that in a moment. Zhixil. You walk all the way around the tree. You get to the pool. It is as I described for the others you've heard.
Yeah. Does the water or the pool of water like give off like a reflection? Like, is it so clear that you can see yourself?
A little bit, but as it's moving, it's got a little bit of a like current to it, so it's got that like kind of bumpiness. So like if you look, you can kind of see a reflection. It's just that little bit of like.
So if I
don't
see
know how
that,
to describe that effect.
so like
Yeah.
I could clearly tell kind of where it's coming from, right? the current?
Yeah, it's coming from north. It's coming from the north. It's flowing down into the pool. It's flowing out of the pool to the west.
Could I investigate the mouth of wherever the water is coming from
Yeah.
into this little
Yeah,
pond?
you follow it upstream. It's a few, maybe 200 feet of stream. To the northern end of the grove. It appears that you're back there.
Okay.
It appears that it's just a stream coming from the forest to the north. You can see it. The trees grow a lot more thick on that side. Like, it would be more difficult to pass that way. Like, you would have to actually like clear a path, but you can see it kind of like go north into the wood.
Okay.
Alfonz, looking at the tree, over the course of about 10 minutes, as you're just staring down the tree, you're just looking at it, you're perceiving. You're looking this way, and you're thinking actively. You're like, all right, watered some plants, gotta find the way. You think of like, make an intelligence check.
17.
Okay. You're thinking about when you met the messenger, you had to approach from the correct direction, kind of thing, to see the portal, to see the messenger's portal. You're thinking about the Fey Wild and how time doesn't pass the same as in the mortal realm. You were like, you think about, oh, it was daylight until it wasn't, and we had to move for daylight. And you're sitting there and you're thinking about all that. And you're looking at the tree, and time is passing, and then you're looking. And you're like, but the tree shadow hasn't moved.
Okay.
So, if time is going by, we should see over any amount of time the shadow should move around the clearing some. But it hasn't. It has stayed exactly as you see it here.
I imagine it's like a sundial thing. Maybe if we walk around in a circle or something, time might pass.
Ilikhal, you have done your little investigation of the tree. You've walked all the way around, and you come out from under the tree, and none of your friends are there. You look around. Nobody's there. You look to the other side. No one. You appear to be alone in the clearing.
Is that the only thing that's changed that I can see?
It would be an intelligence memory check. So it'd just be a blank intelligence check. It's kind of like if you walked away from the table at a restaurant and I moved all your stuff around and asked you what had changed.
That'd be
So-
a 6.
Sounds about right.
Mhm.
You're a little more stunned by the fact that they're not there.
Is it like the
Just
same time
noticed.
of day? Everything looks like, at least.
Make a survival check.
All
You're
right.
proficient in that, right?
12.
It appears to be later in the day. No, it appears to be
Earlier.
earlier in the day.
Okay. I'm
The
gonna
shadow
walk.
of the tree is more. I guess no, it would be
Would be
later in there.
later.
It's more south. The shadow is more south than west.
Okay. I'm gonna walk back around the tree clockwise.
Okay. You go back in. You walk around clockwise. And you come back out. Your friends are there again. Everyone
Oh.
is where they were. Alfonz
What
is
about the
sitting there by
whole-
the lavender patch, like looking at the tree.
I thought you couldn't leave the Fey Wilds without permission.
Ilikhal solved a fucking puzzle.
Yeah, you did it. You did it. I'm proud of you. But hold on. You did it.
Oh, like while Ilikhal was walking, I think Zhixil will just walk up to the tree from that direction, just looking at it.
Make a perception check.
Oh. 14.
Okay. As you start walking towards the tree, you notice out from under the branches and stuff comes a white rabbit. And you're looking at it, and it's like you're like, it's definitely a white. You're like, oh wow, a white rabbit. That stands out. And you look at it and you're like, does that rabbit have antlers? And it runs around the tree counterclockwise from our perspective here. I guess it's always counterclockwise is always counterclockwise, but it runs around the tree.
Do I still have my mushrooms?
You do still have your mushrooms.
I'm gonna like call everyone over when I come out.
Okay. Everyone, you hear Ilikhal? Does everyone go to Ilikhal?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just
Is Ilikhal like any older?
That'd be fucked up.
Not by
I'm like
decades,
2 hours
no.
older.
Ilikhal would have
But,
walked
like
back.
the last time. I'm just thinking the last time you need permission from like the Fey to leave.
I don't think I fully
you-
entered it. Time was just fucky.
Ilikhal does not appear to be older or younger. Ilikhal looks not different than Ilikhal did.
As Zhixil approaches the group, he's like, I just saw a rabbit with antlers. It ran around the tree.
I believe I have something even better. I walked around the tree right at the base, and when I came out from the canopy, you three were gone. Was it later or earlier, Noah? I wasn't clear on that.
It would be.
Earlier.
I'm trying to figure out where the sun is. The sun is over here.
In the sky. Solved it. Boom. Riddles.
Oh my
Yeah, I'm trying to
God.
figure out the shadow was that way, and then it was this way. I think it's earlier.
Okay.
The shadow was more towards 6 o'clock than 9 o'clock.
I take it as counterclockwise. We're going against the clock, so
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And when I emerged from the canopy, it was earlier in the day, it appeared, and you three were gone. And I walked back around the other way, and I returned here.
So are you
So I-
suggesting we walk around the tree?
Yes, but which direction? One seemed to send me backward in time, one forward.
well, I did see a rabbit. That's the only. Perhaps we can follow this supposed rabbit.
Follow the jackalope?
Yeah.
I suppose, why not?
Perhaps after a rest?
That may be wise.
Did you start a fire, Alfonz?
Oh, I can start a fire.
Fireball.
Started many today.
Yep.
Yeah, should we set up camp?
Mhm.
Where we go?
All right, we're gonna do a short rest.
No.
It is not. Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to camp like all night, that
isn't
it's
passing.
not really been a whole day.
I'm at like half HP, so I don't know. What can I do during a short rest?
You can roll hit dice.
Okay.
You can attune to items. You can take potions. You
Okay.
can eat a meal.
I'm fine with a short rest.
Okay.
Okay, short resting. So you can roll hit dice. Hit dice are your hit dice plus your Constitution modifier. can roll as many as you want, but you only get half back on a long rest. Also, Alfonz, you can, if you haven't already today, you can
Already
use.
did.
Yep. We don't know about anybody else's short rest abilities.
Yeah, like I have my sorcery points that I used last time, but it appears that I only get them after a long rest. So
It's also a good time to ask people if they speak languages that are written on eggs, but you don't have to. Just saying. If one wanted, they could.
pilot anything of interest of the tree.
Metagaming pigeon.
Not in particular, no.
I'm not gonna make him roll a deception check because you might not have asked any if I hadn't prodded. Do we roll hair dice? We're feeling good. Feeling good. Do anything else we would like to do during a short rest?
I don't think so.
Okay, it was a good short rest. You guys had some rations. You're able to stretch, able to sit down for a little bit and just kind of. Honestly, it's really nice here. It's super peaceful. There's all kinds of natural magic in the world in this
You know
place.
what?
Yep.
I guess while we're on our short rest, could I just cast Detect Magic as a ritual just to see if there's any kind of holes in this area?
Oh, yeah, go for it. Read Detect Magic's text to me.
For the duration, you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet. Oh, we're far away from the tree. Within 30 feet of you, you sense magic in this way. You can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object in the area that bears magic, and you learn its school of magic, if any. The spell can penetrate most barriers, but it is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt.
Okay. So you sit down and you prepare the ritual. This is how I'm going to roll this. Because this is incredibly different than something you've ever experienced. You sit down and you prepare the ritual, and what you were expecting is you sit down when you prepare Detect Magic, and when you cast it without a ritual, it's as if you close your eyes and all of the different schools of magic have a different color light, and things around you become highlighted in the darkness of your headspace around you, your own perception of the world around you without your eyes, your magic third eye, if you will. So you sit down, you prepare the ritual, and you go through the drawing of the circle and the preparation of the material components and the somatic and verbal components. As you calm yourself and you finish casting the spell, where you would normally expect little highlights of schools of magic, it's as if someone has turned on a car's headlights in front of your face as your eyes are closed, and you are overwhelmed not by the general schools of magic, but you are overwhelmed by the sensations of earth, of life, of water, and of light. Earth, life, water, and light. It is. If you've ever been through a haunted house, there's one room in the dark house where they slam the lights on and play a really loud noise. It is that for your magical senses in that moment. Opening yourself up to those sorts of sensations. Normally, things give off small glows. This is as if you're staring at the sun. For a moment, as it hits you, you have to like back off out of the spell and ease back into it. As you do that, you feel sensation around you, and you start to notice that these are not lights, they are lines passing through this area. In your detect magic, where you are currently located, you sense 4 ley lines of magic just through all of that of the earth. And you recall on your map, in talking to the Arcanist and the Arcanist's apprentices, one of the things they do is they have attempted to map the ley lines of the area, and the Great Tree is a convergence of these ley lines.
Are they like spiraling around the tree in a certain direction?
It is more like it's an intersection, less like a spiral.
Okay.
But it's very intense because it is an intersection of 4, not an intersection of 2 or an intersection of 3. It's an intersection of 4 different ley lines. So they're all coming through and coming from different directions and passing through, and they all meet right here.
Neat.
Okay, short rest completed. Was anybody, Zhixil, you weren't doing anything. Pilot, did you roll hit dice?
Yeah, I regained some health.
Okay, so Zhixil, make another perception check.
22.
Yeah, as you all are sitting, I'm assuming you're sitting. You do notice coming around from the side of the tree again is that same creature, and it peeks
Okay.
out and it looks at you. It's almost in a way you feel teased by it.
Like a cat.
Yeah, and you were more perceptive this time than last. It's not solid enough. It's a little ethereal in its essence. It's not. It's a little too translucent. It's not perfectly solid. It's not perfectly opaque. It's a little translucent. You can kind of like in staring at it, you're like, "The fucking rabbit, it's right there." But everybody else is doing something. You're like, you give it kind of the like, I'm looking at you. I know you're there.
Yeah.
But everybody else is a little busy, like patching up a bandage, buffing out a scar, communing with magic.
If they're doing that, like, is it best not to interrupt them while they're doing that, or could I still be like, guys?
We'll say that only you are able to notice because they're all very intently doing
Okay.
these other things. You
Okay.
you notice because you were not doing that.
Okay. So what's it doing? Is it just standing there looking at me, or what?
Yeah, it kind of comes around the side of the tree and then it sits like back on its back legs with its front paws down and just kind of looks at you, and it cocks its head a little bit sideways, and you can the antlers go like like lopsided a little bit. It's got floppy ears too. It's not like bunny ears. It's like the floppy bunny ears.
If I stand
And then
up,
it runs
and
off
just-
as you
Okay.
look. It runs off back around the
Yeah.
other side of the tree.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Short rest over. Alfonz, you had something?
No, I was just gonna recreate kind of like the pattern with prestidigitation, just like make some lines kind of swirl around to make it look all cool. But it's fine. Doesn't add anything.
Okay. What would you like to do now?
I guess start walking around the tree.
Yeah. Okay. Are we doing this as a group?
Yep.
All right.
You guys
As you
want to
all
hold hands?
Go prancing through the glade.
walk around the tree once, the shadow moves slightly.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Again, the shadow moves.
Again.
How long is like a single lap around this tree to walk?
Probably a little more than a minute.
Okay. Judging by the size of the tree, that's not too crazy.
Keep going.
Line it up with the doorway.
So what we're doing another lap. Okay. And as the shadow of the tree lines up with the doorway that you entered. The branches and foliage start to twinkle as if the night sky. The sky goes slightly pink, and even the doorway itself gives off a little bit of light.
Can I look around to see if I see this creature?
Yeah, make a perception check.
9.
No, you do not see it currently.
Okay.
I'm gonna start walking towards the doorway.
Okay. You start walking towards the doorway. In the
Yeah,
shadow
I'm
of the
following.
tree. Everyone's following? Okay, you all reach the doorway. It is there. Do you wish to pass through?
Well,
Yeah.
before we pass through, do we see anything through the door?
It appears to be forest, from what you can tell from the side.
Because the only other option in this area would be to move the tree shadow so that it's pointing at the pond. But other than that,
The entrance was through a waterfall last time.
I think the door is the obvious
Yeah,
choice
we'll try.
here.
We'll try the door
Yeah.
first.
Okay.
see what's out there. Unless we're back in the the tree stump.
And as you pass through the doorway, you are transported into the Fey Wild. As you all step through the portal, you are absolutely, those of you who have been here, certain you have passed into the Fey Wild. The sun appears to take on a pinkish hue in the sky. In fact, the whole sky appears to be around sunset colors. The forest around you, as you look out into the forest, things move in the distance unnaturally. It's a little eerie. And ahead of you on the path appears a white rabbit with antlers, and it bounds off down the path out of sight.
You all saw that, right?
Yes, I did.
You are in a wood of some sort. The trees here are very tall. They're not like as tall as the great tree, but the trees here might be taller. Like as you look up, they loom is the best word for it. They loom above you. And the branches and canopy, like you can't find the sun in the sky at all. You can tell the sky is pink above, but you cannot manage to pick it out. And as you look far into the distance, it appears like in one direction it even goes to like darkness.
Is there only one path?
There is only one path.
Start walking down it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Alright. Can I get a perception check for the group? So either two of you roll or one roll with advantage.
Who has the best score?
I've got a
+5.
+5 as well.
Okay, one of you roll with advantage then.
Go ahead,
Or,
Martin.
or each of
So
you
what-
roll. It's the same.
So with
Yeah,
advantage, I
true.
get to roll it twice, right?
Roll twice, take the higher.
Okay. That one would be 17. That one would be 17. They're both 17.
There you go. Both 17 indeed.
I think it's funny how we're letting the guy who hasn't been here. I'm just
Yeah.
realizing the guy who
Hey,
hasn't been here.
Zhixil, keep your eyes open, bud.
I like to imagine that Zhixil is like so, because his whole thing is like fairy tales. Are
Mhm.
they real? That he's like just so like in awe of this that he's happy to lead.
Wide open. Yeah. As you
Sometimes
walk
just
down the
need
path.
new eyes.
Yeah. As you walk down the path, Zhixil, you don't see anything, but you smell for a second, you swear you smell pipe tobacco,
Just Alfonz.
but not Alfonz. Like it's more. It's a little more herbal than Alphonse's usual variety of pipe tobacco.
Just like lingering in the air, or is it coming from somewhere?
It is not lingering. It is definitely actively being smoked. And as you look around, make a investigation check.
21.
It's good. As you look around, you're walking down the path, you see just a tiny little trail of it, and it appears like it has just passed right in front of your face. And you see the trail of it, and you follow it, and it's just off the path a little bit, and there's this big toadstool, and sitting on the toadstool is a toad smoking a pipe.
Derivative.
Did you say it's
I don't-
derivative?
I don't know who the author of Alice in Wonderland is, but if their estate comes for us, I'm pinning it all on you.
It's not. It's a caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This appears to be a toad or a frog. I don't know if you know the difference between toads and frogs, but he is smoking a pipe.
So Zhixil sees this, but like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can point it out. Like he's right
yeah,
there.
so he's
like
he's pointing
it's
at it,
odd because I mean he's like this big.
oh, he's like an actual little
He's not. Yeah, that's why he's hard to see. Like it's a little bit of smoke, and he's only toad sized.
When he points it out, can I roll survival to figure out if it's a toad or a frog?
You can.
All right. No, that's a 9.
That's enough to know.
Okay.
It's a toad, not a frog.
That is a toad smoking a pipe.
Astute observation.
He's just like,
was this toad here the last time you were in here?
No.
We have not been to this part of the Fey Wilds.
Good sir.
yeah.
Yeah.
What?
What?
All right, sorry. I need to. Yeah.
What do you got there?
Pipe.
Good stuff.
It's been better. What are you doing?
We're following a white rabbit. Let us right down the rabbit hole.
Did you happen to see a white rabbit? He proceeds to blow a white rabbit out with smoke.
No.
Please.
He takes another like draw from his pipe and he goes, "Yeah, that is. I do see much here. It went that way." Mhm.
Do you know much about the court of the Summer Queen?
Titania. Yep. She.
Would that be in the same direction?
That is where she keeps court. Mhm.
Play croquet.
No croquet for the summer she. They're more the badminton type.
Oh.
That's a joke. You can laugh.
How have
No.
things been around here recently?
A lot of coming and going. I'm a watcher, mostly. And so, a lot of she coming and going. A lot of elves coming and going. Most don't see me because I'm kind of small. But some do.
He said he's a watcher. He watches things.
Watch things.
What do you watch for?
Not watching for, just watching. Observing.
Vibing. Did you notice any drow or servants of the Winter Court passing through?
Yeah, one kid came through. That was some time ago. But how long is always hard to say.
Did you ever see him exit?
No, don't think I did. But there's many ways to go here. Sometimes you go nightward, and sometimes you go dayward, and sometimes you go north, and sometimes you go south. You end up in different places. Cadigan came through here a couple days ago, too. Saw him. He's kind of a weird one. Talks
he
kind of
is.
funny.
Question, because I don't remember. Did we kill the Cadigan, or did he just
No.
leave? Okay.
He was gone as soon as the encounter was over.
Okay.
Has the Cadigan returned?
No, I think he went to go pay court. I haven't seen him since.
Is the Cadigan a friendly character to you? He certainly wasn't to us.
I'd say he's neutral. Sometimes he sits and talks to the wind, and sometimes he's on his way asking his riddles. He's an interesting character for sure.
Do you usually watch from this particular location?
Sometimes I'm here. Sometimes I'm somewhere else. I think I've seen all of you before, though. In a
Oh,
different grove. With some children. Well, I guess not you, sir. I apologize. The other three. And some children and some Fey. I saw that. Because I'm an observer.
That is very interesting.
so that implies you guys were in the Fey Wilds in that original encounter?
I don't think so.
Seems like it.
Any
Or
travels between them?
or he was in our world.
I travel around sometimes. Observing.
Do you have a name, sir?
I do. They call me the Toad Duke.
That's so fucking stupid. I love it.
You may have
Toad
heard
Dukes
of my
Toad Duke
cousin.
plushies coming soon.
I've heard nothing that was
KGlow
just
gift
said.
shop.
Yes, sir.
You may have heard of my cousin, the Frog Prince.
Were you gonna say something, Kay?
I was just saying, Frog Duke plushies coming soon at the KGlow gift shop.
How long have you been?
Toad Duke. Thank you.
Toad Duke.
Come on.
Sorry. We can afford the rights.
How long have you been around here for, Toad Duke?
Around here?
No, in your lifetime.
In my lifetime. I don't celebrate birthdays, passing of the moons like your people. But quite a while, I think. Just watching, just observing. That is what I do. Mm, yeah.
Well, thank you for the information. Have a
Hmm.
good.
Wait. What's the oldest thing you've watched?
The oldest thing. Ah. I remember watching as Titania and Mav's people went to settle in your world. A little before that, but that was probably a long time ago.
You happen to remember our friend here.
This one? You, sir?
This clears up nothing for which
Looks
one we're
like a-
talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
the unusual one.
The Goliath one or the
Make it-
I
Just
point
make it
at
sure,
Pilot.
yeah.
I point at Pilot.
Yeah. I seen one like you before. When the Accords were signed. I saw them
What?
too. Those were also a long time ago.
So they do have a contract.
Vindication for Alfonz.
No, that was Pilot.
Oh, for Pilot. Right.
Yeah.
I look into the Toad Duke's beady little eyes,
Mhm.
and I'll see if I recognize him from anywhere.
Do you like get down right in his face?
Sort of. Get on eye level.
He like exhales. Smoke like right into your face. Mm. Yeah, I remember you. Roll a d20.
Have you met this random toad?
I got an 11 on a d20.
You don't particularly remember this specific toad. You've met a few toads in your lifetime, but you don't remember this one specifically.
How high off is the toad from the ground?
It's like 18 inches at most.
Is he just a naked little frog on a mushroom?
No, he's a toad, and
On a
he
toadstool.
on a toadstool, and he does appear to be wearing some like fancy clothes
Oh.
that might be befitting of a duke.
Is he wearing a hat or anything?
No hat, but he does have like a very tiny pair of glasses, kind of like seeing his little toad nose.
When he exhales the next time, I exhale the smoke, or like, I breathe out wind so the smoke goes back into his face.
That was a bit rude. I think I don't like you, but I haven't made up my mind.
I'm a hit or miss kind of person.
Aren't we all?
Understandable.
I think we're good to move along.
Yeah, I think so.
Does anyone have a jar?
We're not gonna put this fucking toad in a jar.
If the party walks away, I think Zhixil just quietly wants to ask the toad if have you ever seen one such as me before?
What exactly do you mean?
Just
I've seen plenty of tabaxi. That's kind of the point.
here specifically.
Not that I can remember. Not specifically.
Fair enough.
Indeed. That
And
is always my goal. Fairness.
Zhixil just returns to the group.
Have a good day. It
You
was
too.
nice to talk instead of just watch.
See you on our return. Have a great day.
Perhaps.